talking with Steve Carell. First of all, Steve, congratulations on the movie.
Thanks.
It's so delightful. I got to ask you this, though. One of the things that came out for me in watching Burt Wonderstone is that a lot of us, when we think of you as a comedic performer, we think in terms of you and Paul Rudd are almost kind of cut from the same cloth in many ways. You have this great unassuming way about you so that when you do your comedy, it just hits us even more powerfully. But we forget you also have that you and Jim Carrey are very similar in many ways because you are amazing at physical and facial comedy.
Oh, thanks.
Like we think of that scene in Bruce Almighty with you at the news desk, and you have a great scene in this movie with Steve Buscemi where you're sitting in the bar together and you're having a very emotional moment.
Right. Yeah.
What is it about you as a performer that allows you to have that kind of diversity as a comedic performer?
I don't know. I guess I am just so versatile that it's I blow people's minds that way. I don't. That's very kind of you to say. This movie it made me laugh. The character made me laugh. The look of this guy makes me laugh, and I think that's part of the battle.
Right.
When you have these wigs and the eyeliner and the tan and the velour jumpsuit cut down to here, you kind of just act a different way. You sort of can't help it. So with the assistance of those things, I think it's beneficial when you have that much of a character to play.
Like many other comedies, it's almost like the magician angle is kind of just the context for the hero's journey of going from one kind of man to another kind of a man, the importance of relationships and friendships, which comes out across in this movie. What made this context of the world of Vegas magicians work so well with those stories that we're so familiar with?
Well, it is a familiar story. That's the story of redemption, the story of rags to riches. And I liked it in this context because it's such an amped up world. It's a world that people think they're familiar with, but rarely get to see. I've never seen this world in a comedy, and that was one of the things that was intriguing to me about it. And I think there is a different spin to it, but I like the framework of the movie. You see this guy as a little kid who's being bullied, who really doesn't know his place, doesn't have anything that makes him feel important. He finds magic, and then over the years becomes egotistical and vain, and kind of becomes a terrible guy. And when all of that falls through, and he loses all of it, he's left with this shell of who he used to be. And I think it is a sort of a classic dynamic in terms of story, but I think it's funny, and I think it's something that people can relate to, and it's just a context that I don't think they've seen it comedically, at least.
You told a great story at the press conference yesterday about walking around Vegas in full costume.
Yeah.
And that nobody denied you here.
Nobody did. Nobody made any mention of it. It didn't stand out in any way, and it was the first week we were shooting, and you kind of want to get a sense for how the look is going to work, because you see these posters and you see the billboards and you watch the trailers for the movie and you think, this is outlandish and no one dresses this way, and it's it almost looks like it would be a parody, but it's not, because you get here to Las Vegas and this is how a lot of performers dress, and it's a familiar sight. We were shooting, I don't know if we talked about this during the press conference, but we shot that hotbox scene, and we were hoping it would gather a crowd so we could use the crowd and shoot them as the crowd in the movie. And it didn't gather a crowd because people are so jaded here. They're so immune to any sort of spectacle. The two guys in a plexiglass box dangling over the script didn't even, they might stop for a minute or two, but they weren't going to hang out. And I think that is very informative. It was informative to us about Vegas, that this is a different place, and the rules are different, and what is normal here, it does not apply elsewhere.
Well, listen, Steve, congratulations on the movie. I liked it very much, and we
Thanks.
can't wait to have it on AMC screens.
Thanks.
Thank you so much, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Take care.
Hey everyone, if you liked this video, click that thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It's free and helps you stay up to date with all the latest movie news, as well as our daily AMC movie talk show. Also, make sure that you follow us on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date with all of our special promotions, contests, and prize giveaways.